Hello, this is my persuasive speech reflective vlog for Fundamentals of Speech. Um, Purpose of my speech was to try to persuade people to want to support the funding of space exploration. I feel like this is a topic good for me because I've always been interested in space and what it has to offer for us as a human race, and I'm really interested in what's out there, but because it's such a vast world that we don't have access to with the funds that we have right now. And I think that there's so much out there that we still have to explore. The feelings going into giving the speech, I was a little skeptical because it's a theoretical situation, because I can't prove that we're going to make tons of a lot of money from finding an asteroid that has trillions of dollars worth of materials on it. Theoretically, it's out there, but we don't actually have an answer for harvesting it. So it's and then we can't prove that we're going to find the answer to how life started, but we don't know until we go out there and try, and that's what the point I'm trying to make. But it's still difficult to try to get solid evidence because it's theoretical. Theoretically, we should go into space because theoretically we could find so on and so forth. How did I use ethos in this? Ethos was a hard thing to get because I couldn't quite fit in professional evidence because, like I said before, it's theoretical. So I can get, obviously, every professional on the top, every astronomer is going to be like, yeah, let's explore space more because that's their topic, and it's like, we don't know what's out there, so might as well give it a shot. But it's kind of difficult to get solid evidence that, yeah, economically this is a smart choice because we can make a bunch of money off of it, because theoretically we don't know if we're going to make money off of it, and so on and so forth. Video audio quality was not that great because my equipment wasn't that great. It was just my iPad, and my friend was the one who was recording it, and he didn't monitor it well enough to keep the angle on my face and the way I kind of paced around. Eventually my face got cut off because I started in view. I kind of took steps forward, and eventually the camera just kind of got above my head or below my there. So you couldn't see my eyes through the ending of the speech, and that kind of is not that great of quality. But I mean, I already chewed my friend out for it, so. And then structure and organization. I felt like it was it was naturally organized because it was, well, I think we should fund space, and here's why. And it was just kind of me stating reasons why I think we should explore space, and I compared it to the past, saying, well, in the past they explored, why shouldn't we explore now? And that kind of felt natural. The odd thing was trying to fit it into points, well, it's beneficial in A, B, and C, because it's theoretical, like I said before. So I mean, getting it to fit in a set A, B, and C manner is kind of difficult because of just the way the topic lies out. And then I considered my audience as high school level, early college kind of. I kind of directed it towards them, saying well, when you grow up, you should look at astrology or astronomy as a field that you should invest in because of what's out there and all the stuff that has to offer. Though I didn't actually blatantly say that, that's kind of the message I was delivering with the audience that I had. I was kind of saying, well, space is a great field that you should explore, so on, and etc., etc. My strongest persuasive point, I think, would either be the fact that we can make a huge profit off of the trillions of dollars worth of materials on asteroids and other planets and things along those lines, and the fact that when I made my analogy to the past, like the gold rush, because, well, they explored back then and they made a profit, so why wouldn't exploring now make a profit? And exploring back then made all these crazy discoveries, so why wouldn't exploring now make all these crazy discoveries? I feel like I had some pretty solid logos because of the logic that I tied in with the analogies, because it was logical, though maybe not very evidence heavy. It was still fairly logical. And then what worked, I think, was the logic of the analogies, and what didn't work was the amount of evidence I had, because it's kind of hard to get evidence for a theoretical situation. So next time, if I were to do it again, I'd pick a topic maybe that would be able to be backed up more by more evidence, or spend more time trying to find evidence about what we do know about space right now. And then a learned experience to compare with the class. On page 92, at the top of the page, it talks about reasoning by analogy, and that's what I talked about already, that analogies, using reasoning through analogies is a good idea because it's like, well, in the past this worked, so why wouldn't it work now? And that's kind of how I tied in what I learned to this persuasive speech. I learned that analogies can be a useful tool, and so that's why I use analogies. Thank you for listening to this, and I look forward to our next ceremonial speech.